I had the misfortune of accidentally happening upon a radio talk show. I know. And I've done pieces on conservative talk and how it's part of the problem. Now, that's not to say that the fake news is right, because the fake news is much worse. But when you understand how media works, as this former fake news anchor does, you can see all of it for what it is: a vast ecosystem that feeds off of each other. And I mean, just now I heard Sean Hannity, God bless his heart, talking about, we pay all these cable TV news anchors these vast amounts of money. And here he is talking on the radio doing the same thing. But the thing is, see, I don't want to know what they're talking about. Because remember this, and I've said it a million times, but I've got to keep reminding you, because repetition is the mother of skill, right? If the fake news reports something, it's less likely to be true, okay, than if they had never said anything at all. So I'm going to repeat that again. If the fake news reports something, it's less likely to be true than if they had never said anything about it at all. And I've heard this story before, frankly. I heard he was talking about it for like maybe I was tuned in for 3 minutes. I was literally listening to a lecture on from the phone, and the car stereo system, for whatever reason, when I was switching the cable over, it went to the radio for some reason, which is loaded with advertisements anyway, and so who listens to that or watches television anymore, right? But the point is, I've heard the story, but it's basically, you have all these wonderful police. I've met bad cops before. But the vast majority of them are good. I know the bad cops. I can tell you, like the chief of the Hamilton, Massachusetts police. He's not a very decent fellow. Same, Gloucester police, Gloucester, Massachusetts, had some well-publicized issues. We don't need to go into them again. I've met cops who were going out to see, ladies of the night who literally advertised as something, like masseuses online. Actually, I remember this one. She literally advertised herself as, I don't even want to say what it was. It was in Salem, Massachusetts, and there's just a lot of weirdos in Salem, but the vast majority of policemen go into what they do because they want to protect and serve, like the vast majority of Americans do for everything. With a few exceptions, like the fake news and most musicians. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, the truth is, I don't know what this fake news brouhaha is about. That the fake news started by printing a story, and of course the so-called conservative or conservative talk radio has got to cash in on it by saying how wrong the fake news was, and I mean, they were wrong, but I mean, even talking about a fake news story lends it some aura of credibility that it shouldn't have to begin with. It's like when 1 million moms, God bless their Mississippi hearts, decides to, what did I read about today? The online streaming service, I'm not even going to name what it was. Okay, well, it is significant because it is Disney. And Disney, see, Christians have to learn that Disney, yes, was once all American, all Christian, but now it's turned 180 to the dark side. Forgive me for that, the dark side. It's turned to Satan, okay? It's been satanic for a very long time, okay? And every other month, 1 million moms is calling them out on something. You got to write the president of Disney Plus, the president of HBO, and I mean, I'm a person. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. But geez, when are Christians, when are pastors going to wake up and just turn off the bloody devices? Because it's a losing game. The house always wins when you're, when you're engaging with the fake news. It's like a casino for your mind. In fact, it very much so. Not only because they have it out for you, and that they when America wins, they lose, and vice versa. So the fake news has an inversely proportional relationship with the American success story. Meaning, when the fake news wins, America loses. When America wins, the fake news loses. So the fake news is always rooting against and reporting in such a way so as to instigate and propagate in the way of America's defeat. That's the fake news game. And without fake news, the straw man antithesis of the fake news also has no revenue stream. So CNN, Disney, ABC, same thing, right? NBC, all of them hate America feverishly. And then you have your pundits, right? The people, those radio stations. I used to work at. I worked at a slew of them. The radio stations who air Rush Limbaugh, and then they add fake news drops in between Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh is like, oh, the liberal media, and then like, we'll be back with more dooba after this, and then they go, well, Rush Limbaugh has been doing his evil things all the time, and so it's a nasty little back and forth, and in as much as conservative so-called conservative commentators or conservative commentators rail against the fake news, the dirty little secret of the whole conservative talk game is that without the fake news, there would be no Rush Limbaughs, there would be no pundits, because they wouldn't have any fake news to criticize, and that's what conservatives do. That's what fake conservatives do. That's what conservative fake conservative pundits do. Now you'll notice that the majority of my contentedness is not about the fake news. I happened to come upon it by accident today, about 20 seconds of it. And what did I do? And obviously Sean Hannity is on the lighter side of the evil punditry, but he's still, he works for Fox, and Fox. You see how they've gone. The way they had to get rid of Shep Smith because they're like, oh wow, they're catching on to our game. America is, so we got to get rid of this Indian sodomite here before they understand what we're doing, and that's what they do. Even Fox and Friends, that used to be kind of the one little island, and look at the way that they talk to me, America's man's man. So it was kind of a hard lesson in how things work, but that's the media game for you. And I just, like I said, America's man's men don't know what this whole demonization of cops fake news story is about. Frankly, I don't want to know. I don't care, because I know that it's fake news. And the only reason that they report things that resemble the truth on occasion is so that you develop the habit of listening to them, so that later on they can really stick their knife in you with major lies, like right before the election, that sort of stuff. So you're in the habit, so they condition you, just like you're being conditioned by Facebook, by Google, for the FANG companies, to keep clicking on the Netflix special, click, to tune that radio dial, that television clicker into the same channel, so that come the election, they can dump a whole bunch of fear into you regarding the number one president in the that America's had in ages upon ages, perhaps since the Greatest Generation. In any event, I am America's man's man. Shall we? Yeah, why not? We'll do the jingle, shouldn't we? I know you want to hear it. America's man's man, and thank you so much for seeking truth in these times of infotainment delusion. Keep trusting America's man's man to give it to you straight. America's man's man.